Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Shamsa Arrawelo. I hope you guys have had an amazing few weeks. Want to start doing live broadcasts so that I am able to really interact with you guys a lot more, because it's nice to speak, you know, in the comment section, but I think it would be better to have different opinions and different views and on how we can go about changing things for the better in terms of the women that now live in Somalia. And because I've been really interested in the law lately, I decided to do a little research on Somalia's justice system. Come to find out, Somalia doesn't have a formal justice system, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and very shocking, because that's my country, and to know that they don't have like a proper, at least like, I thought they had some. They don't have a formal justice system. They have what they call rare fucking tribes. Fed up isn't the word. And I've also learned that there was a bill that was created in 2018, and Somalia initially accepted this bill, and it's the offence bill 2018. They accepted it, but then they turned around and rejected it. And in my mind, I'm wondering, why would you reject a bill that protects women and children, and even men, from sexual assault, underage marriage, forced marriage, arranged marriage? Wallahi, at this point, I want an explanation. I need an explanation as to why they withdrew the bill. Because this bill, it outlined how to better protect the victims. And this is like instructions to police officers, prosecutors, judges, to basically like a proper system, okay? Way of capturing and arresting and detaining and judging and sentencing criminals. So why withdraw? So I want that bill back. Okay, I want it back, because, and the craziest thing is, whilst I was doing this research, I read that there were 16 cases where someone working for the army, male, committed rape, as well as, I think it was like 12 cases where it was police officers. And there's even cases of the government officials committing these crimes. So it makes me wonder, the people that are meant to be protecting our country actually, or are women, the women in Somalia, they're not, because the ones that are raping them are the police. They are the army. They are government officials. And I'm not saying all government officials, all police officers, all army officers. No. But there's 16 cases where it was proven that it was an army officers. And then it was proven that it was police. And then proven that it was a government official. So it makes me wonder, they were pressured into accepting the bill to begin with. And then later they rejected it because they realized that they don't want that type of crime to end. And the funny thing is, they support forced marriages And that's exactly what happened to me. I was forced. I was humiliated. I was hurt in ways that nobody can imagine. I was imprisoned in my own country to the point where I didn't even feel like I belonged. I've heard so many stories, so many countless stories now. Even this week I've been off, like I haven't been myself for the past few days. And the reason why is because I heard yet another devastating story about a Somali woman, a Somali child, and a Somali man. But I don't know what it is about sexual assault in particular, but it is something that is not of a lot of people's concern. Women who are carrying your children, that clean your houses, cook your food, raise, help you. Yet, when something so horrible happens to them, it's not considered a crime. And then to know that your own country is against you as well, that is a very, very, very massive pill, hard pill to swallow. That's a really, really hard pill to swallow. Knowing that your own country would reject a bill that helped at least create one system to better protect women against sexual assault, sexual offenses of any kind. So I want to know. I'm asking government officials, Somalian government officials, especially, because I want to know why you took away something that could help hundreds and thousands of women against harm and pain. You claim that Somalia is the Sharia law. You're telling me that Sharia law permits rape, whether it's in a marriage, whether it's outside a marriage. Does it permit someone to torture someone else in a way that leaves them physically scarred and mentally scarred? It's not fair. What happened to me should have never happened. But I'm thinking that if there were better laws and if we had better men, to protect Somalia, then we would not be in this predicament. If Somalia had a formal system, justice system, so much crime could be prevented, especially gender-based violence. But the fact that it's not being done just shows me that we have perverts and rapists and predators as our leaders. Because what leader, would refuse the sexual offense bill? Why? Is it against Islam? Is it against Islam to fight for a woman's justice when she's been harmed and when you know about it? But you guys are so used to just covering it under a rug, or like just sweeping it under a rug. That's what you're used to, sweeping it under a rug. But you don't get to sweep it anymore. You might have scarred me. I had no justice in Somalia. And even if I had said that my husband, yeah, assaulted me, who would listen? What judge, huh, would send a husband to prison for his wife's rape? Because according to y'all, and y'all tried to, everybody tries to convince me. So many people have tried and failed. That a man owns my body like he owns his car and his house. I am not a property of a man. Never was. Never will. Not even the one that gave birth to me. I am equal to a man in the eyes of Allah. So I should be equal in the eyes of the system, in the eyes of society. Rights that Allah has provided us females is not being honored, is not even being taught. Yet, you want to go and manipulate the deen and try to tell me that a husband can rape his wife because I am a property of his. How does that work? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Give me the the verse of the Quran where it says a husband is allowed to rape me and hurt me and cause me pain and not think about my pleasure in any way, shape, or form. Just about his, what he wants, what he needs. How is that right? But there are men sitting in power with full bellies, glowing skin, ka-ching, right? And everyone idolizes these motherfuckers. And they're like, yes, Farmaja this, and yes, Sheikh Sharif this. What the fuck has Sheikh Sharif and what the fuck has Farmaja ever done? On anyone else for that matter? When have they ever prioritized the needs of our women or our daughters? When? But y'all want to shout his fucking name in the streets and be like, yes, vote for Farmaja or Sheikh Sharif. Why are y'all voting for people, for arrogant, ignorant, idiotic men that took away the rights of every single Somali woman living there right now, and every woman that ever has any hope of going back? Because if you do go back and you get us and you get hurt like I did, not one police officer, not one army officer, not one politician is going to give a flying fuck. Not one. Because if they did, they would have kept the bill that they agreed to, that they threw out, along with every single Somali woman's dignity and pride. I don't wish bad on people. And I don't think I would never. Like in Annie, I want an explanation. And I think every single Somali woman is owed an explanation. Because what he and they are saying right now is that what happened to me is okay. That forced marriage is okay. That rape within forced marriages is okay. Marriages of children is okay. So pedophilia is okay. They're saying that domestic violence, any type of gender-based violence, including FGM, that is all okay. And that became all okay the day that they threw all of that shit out. And there's no recorded numbers of any of these assaults. So it makes me wonder, what the fuck you're hiding? How many lives have you destroyed? And so many people have so much faith in the Somalian government. And I'm like, how can you have so much faith in a country that refuses to acknowledge women's rights? Absolutely refuses. Although Somalia was built on the back of a woman. The economy, the country, everything was built in the back of a Somalian woman. They are the most hardworking and dedicated human beings that I have ever met in my entire life. And yes, there are some fucked up people within our community. But believe you me, we are going to talk all of that. We're going to talk about it all. Yeah, the grisly, the disgusting, the dirty, the horrible, the beautiful, the success, the achievements, all of it. But wallahi billahi talahi, right now, the only thing that I want is that bill to be accepted. Because anyway, Jarino, wallahi, I'm actually shaking right now. I'm really shaking. Because the stories are getting harder and harder to listen to. We need better. Somalia is my garden. Somalia is your garden. And Somalia is our garden of peace. And we want peace for our women to be able to walk in the streets and not fear, being raped. Knowing Somalian women, they are the most strongest, most courageous humans I have ever come across, because even their trauma, they hide it. They hide it so well. They hide it so well. And that's strength. Even having to live with such trauma, no matter what type it is really, really difficult to live with. So if you've lived with it in silence, you are the most courageous thing, more than me. And I am here to tell you that you did not deserve it. I love you for the sake of Allah, and Allah is going to protect you. Wallahi, the one thing I would advise anyone that has ever dealt with trauma is do not lose sight of Allah. Because Allah, Markte, once you give yourself to Allah, I promise you, your life will get better. And I'm not saying that I'm not the most religious person in the world, okay? But I have such love for my deen and such love for Allah. I promised myself and I promised Allah that I would do anything and everything that I can to bring even a little comfort to someone's life.